In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys everything you need to know about the Duolingo English Test. So this is the official guide for test takers. Without wasting time, let's quickly dive in. So the first thing we're going to look at is the test structure. For the test structure, I will drop this link right here in the description area so that all you guys need to do is go through that link and see all the setup, how you can start the prepare yourself for the test, so that we don't have to go all into that, because this walkthrough is going to show you guys exactly how to prepare before the test. But to make sure that you get the right information in this official guide, let's go exactly to the exact place where you're going to see the structure of the text or the questions you're going to be seeing. So the setup of the test. So introduction and onboarding, which is exactly what I said that I'm going to be dropping in the description area. It's going to take 5 minutes, which is all about making sure you have your computer camera and speakers and microphone functioning, where you're going to submit your ID, photo ID or government issued photo ID, and then where you're going to review the test rules. Then the number 2 is the graded computer adaptive test, which is the one that is going to measure your English skill through short question types, and test questions are administered randomly, right? So, and then it says that question difficulty changes based on your performance. And then finally, the number 3 is upgraded video and writing sample, which is 10 minutes. So in total, we're looking at 45 minutes, 10 and 5, which is 60 minutes. Okay, to the area everyone is actually interested in figuring out. So this is called the diagram of a question. So it says, refer to this image if you get confused about the parts of each test question that will be referenced in this section. So this image here, it's pretty much the time remaining. So it's all about, you don't have to panic when you see that, you know. This arrow is pointing to the direction that will tell you what to do. And this is an arrow pointing to how you should stay with your camera, just to make sure that you put yourself in the perfect position. So for the graded questions, the first type of question is going to be read and complete. So directions, it said that you can read and complete. It's going to ask you to read and complete, and it asks you to type the missing letters to complete the test below, and it shows you a sample of what they are talking about. And this is all about figuring out what your literacy and comprehension. So it says for this test question, you would fill in the blanks of unfinished words in the passage. These directions will appear on the screen at the same time as the timer begins. So again, the first type of question is read and complete, right? And below here, you're going to see the tips on how to figure this out. So the second type of question is read and select. So the directions again is on the left-hand side, which is all about you read and select the real English words in the list. You will need to read each word in a list and decide if it's an actual word in English, right? And then on the right-hand side here, it shows you an example, like keyboard is an English word, lost, road, and then these ones are like a little bit, this would throw you off, you know, they are not actually English words. And then the sub-scores for this one is called literacy and comprehension. And down below, you also have the tips on how to go about this question type. So for the question type 3, it's going to be listing and select. So with this direction, which is on the left-hand side, it's all about hitting the arrow, hitting this button right here, and then the word it's going to say, and then you figure out what it is, right? So again, it says listen and select, asks you to select the real English words in this list. Similar to read and select, you will be trying to identify real English words, but in this question, you will listen to the words to identify them. And for the sub scores, it's all about comprehension and conversation. Then below, it shows you the tips again on how to figure this out. So let's keep going. The question type 4 is going to be listen and type. So you hit this button, and then you listen to what what you're going to hear, and then you type it in this box. And then on the direction, it tells you exactly how you're going to, follow this process. So the next type of question is read aloud. So it said, record yourself saying the statement below. For example, I want to be certain that they have understood me. And then you hit the record now, and then you're going to repeat that. So again, on the direction, it tells you what to do and tips on how to practice this. This is the question type 5, which is read aloud. The question type 6 is what? Write about the photo. So it shows you a diagram here, and it says write one or more sentences that describe the image. And then it tells you the direction here, which is all about write about the photo, asks you to write one or more sentences that describe the image. For this question type, you will see an image on the screen and you will write a description of the image. The directions for this question appear at the same time that the timer begins. And the sub-scores for this is production and literacy. And then below, it tells you the tips on how to make this to ensure that you figure this thing out. When I was working on the practice questions, I didn't just talk about what I saw on the image, like the humans I talked about, the sea and things like that. It's like describing everything you see, right? That's the best way to approach it. So the next type of question is question type 7 is speak about the picture. So it says describe aloud the image here. Pretty much the same thing. The direction will tell you speak about the photo. In this task, you will talk about an image that appears on the screen. The direction and image will appear for 20 seconds before automatically advancing to the record screen. So again, remember, question type 7, speak about the photo. Then the next type of question is read, then write. So on the right-hand side, it says, describe a time you were surprised. What happened? So this time around, you are going to read and write. You read this sentence here and you just explain, right? So it tells you the direction on how to go about it and the tips on how to make this work out. So the next type of question is question type 9, read and then speak. Same process, you're going to follow the directions here. Prepare to speak for at least 30 seconds about the question below. So once you read, then you record yourself to speak about the information on the right hand side. And again, on the left hand side, you see the direction on how to follow this process and the tips to make this work out. And it says the sub score is conversation and production. So after that, the next type of question is question type 10, listen, then speak. Same process, speak the answer to the question you hear. The direction is on this side. Sub score is conversation and production. So the tips, it says speak naturally and clearly and use varied words and sentence structure. If you don't know how to answer the question, try explaining what is challenging to you about the prompt. I think this guide is really, really good to like give you a clue on how to approach each question, right? Again, before at the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys it has a practice question that you can practice aside from the one that you find online, so that you can practice and then also go through the answers to see if you made it right or wrong. Let's keep going. So this is another type called speaking sample. So it says speak for 1 to 3 minutes about the topic below. So it's all about you read this information here and you talk about it. So it says the speaking sample asks you to speak for 1 to 3 minutes about the topic below. For this question type, you'll be given a choice of 2 written prompts. You will speak at length about the one you choose. And it gives you the tips on how to make this work out, and also the time on top here, right? This is really, really nice. Then another type is the writing sample. So it says write for 3 to 5 minutes about the topic below. Again, you read and then you write. And again, you have the directions on how to do it and the tips on how to go about this process. Then this is also a very important area I want you guys to, it's just something to know, right? It says how often the questions appear. So the question types: read and complete, read and select, listen and select, listen and type, and read aloud, 3 to 7 times each, 6 on average. So that's the frequency. Then about writing about the photo, speak about the photo, read and write, read and speak. So here is like a breakdown on how often the questions will appear. So this will give you a clue on, not that you wouldn't pay attention to all the areas, but this gives you a clue on the areas to focus on, so that you know that if this is coming up 3 to 7 times, then you're gonna want to study this area very well to understand it, right? And then, okay, let's keep moving. So for you to prepare for this exam, you need your computer, you need a valid identification, and then an internet connection. Like I said, the walkthrough that I'm going to drop the link in the description area is going to explain all of this to you guys. So this is more like a breakdown of the sub-scores: literacy, comprehension, conversation, and production right here. And then how long is this test valid, the Duolingo test? It says it's certified scores are valid for 2 years, right? Which is really, really good. So you can take it in 2021, it's valid to 2023. And I think this is also important to know. Then this is like a breakdown on how to share your result after you're done. All you have to do is you create an account. It says on here, it says log into your Duolingo English Test account. Once logged in, you'll be able to submit your official scores to any institution of your choosing. And then on here is a sample of how the certificate would look like once you're done. It's going to show you your overall score, your score on literacy, your score on conversation, your score on comprehension, and also your score on production. Then this is like a comparison. Sorry about that. This is like a comparison with other types of English testing exams, with TOEFL, IELTS, and the rest of them, right? So, and then the practice questions. So the practice questions, here you have each one read and complete, just like I showed you guys. You have all of that, and then you also have the answers to each and every one of them. So you can practice, read and complete, and then you go to the answers and see if you got it right. This is the same way you're going to do the same thing with the read and select, just like the steps I showed you guys. You're going to go through the whole process and then you follow the answers to see if you got it right. So with this practice question and this practice question here, when you create an account on the actual Duolingo English test, so you can see right here, practice test, it says practice as much as you want. So you can go through as much as you want. It's going to be 15 minutes, not the actual 1 hour or 60 minutes. But with this and knowing the structure, you can keep practicing and you get better.